For new retirees, a big question is, how much can I safely withdraw from my portfolio each year? There are a handful of different withdrawal strategies. In this video, I want to highlight the one that allows for the highest initial withdrawal rate. It goes by the name Guardrails. And before we explore this method, I want to give credit where it's due. Morningstar does a lot of great research on retirement withdrawal strategies. And I'm going to be relying on Morningstar data to explain the Guardrails approach. I do like the compare and contrast technique when it comes to introducing new concepts. So let me kick this off by first revisiting the most basic withdrawal strategy there is, and one with which many of you may already be familiar, the so-called fixed real withdrawal strategy. Looking at Morningstar's table here, if an investor has a 50-50 stock bond portfolio and expects to live 30 years after retirement, then a safe starting withdrawal rate would be 3.8% of the portfolio. For example, if the portfolio is $1 million, then the first year withdrawal would be $38,000, which would then be adjusted upward by inflation in future years, looking something like this. Now, if we go back to that Morningstar table and we scan the safe starting withdrawal rates for an investor with a 50-50 stock bond portfolio, there is a 5.3% that stands out as the highest safe starting withdrawal rate. It's in the Guardrails column. So how does this work? If the starting safe withdrawal is 5.3%, then the Guardrails are set 20% above and 20% below that 5.3%. 20% above would be 6.4%, and 20% below would be 4.2%. Now we have the Guardrails. What do we do with them? If the planned withdrawal amount in a year is less than 4.2% of the portfolio, or more than 6.4% of the portfolio at the beginning of the year, then an adjustment needs to be made. And as part of the formal Guardrails strategy, the adjustment to the planned withdrawal amount is 10%. 10% up or 10% down. Let's look at an example, and we'll use a $1 million portfolio again. In year one, the distribution amount is $53,000, 5.3% of the portfolio. In year two, the planned distribution is increased by inflation to $55,000, let's say. But the portfolio declined to $800,000. Well, $55,000 over $800,000 is 6.9%. That's higher than your upper guardrail of 6.4%. The planned distribution amount of $55,000 needs to be reduced by 10%, such that the new planned distribution amount would be $49,500. Let's now turn to an example in which the portfolio value moves significantly higher. Again, the first year distribution is $53,000, and the second year planned distribution is $55,000. But in this case, the investment portfolio performed really well and is now at $1.4 million. Well, $55,000 divided by $1.4 million is only 3.9%, which is below the lower guardrail of 4.2%. So this would call for an increase in the planned distribution by 10% to $60,500. The Guardrails method is known as a dynamic retirement spending strategy, and as such, it has to be monitored year in and year out. It's not a set it and forget it method like the very basic fixed real strategy from the beginning of this video. And while Morningstar's research has concluded that the initial withdrawal rate for the Guardrails strategy is the highest, the retiree has to be prepared for volatility, some ups and downs in cash flows year to year. That's the trade-off. So that was a quick introduction to this particular withdrawal strategy. It's not an endorsement, but it is something that has come up a few times in conversations recently, so I thought it was worth highlighting in a video. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in a month.